Good day everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's good to have you. I want to talk about a topic which was brought to me by a client that asked me, what is the way forward? PACN, the Power Holding Company of Nigeria, has just installed a prepaid meter in my client's house. So my client wants to know, what is the way forward? Is that a good news in terms of cost? Is that a good news in terms of energy saving? Now, this is the reality. The purpose of having a prepaid meter installed in your house or in your compound or in your offices is to properly monitor the energy usage of your house so that the Power Holding Company of Nigeria can properly charge you for what you consume, compared to the days where you use the estimated bill, whereby they do not know exact energy you consume. They just give you bill based on plus or minus unjustifiable mathematical equation they have done. Do you understand now? So they give you the bill based on their own discretion. It is not a proper representation of your energy consumption. So way forward, how do you save energy and also save costs when working or when you have an inverter installed in a house or offices where you have a prepaid meter? The first thing that must be at the back of your mind when shopping for an inverter is first, energy saving. You must shop for an energy saving inverter. We understand that most of the time you will be working with a professional installer. However, you should also let the installer know that they should get you an inverter that is energy saving. Take note, most manufacturers manufacture inverter for different reasons, for different purposes. And for this reason, it is your own obligation to let your installer know, let your installer be aware that you want to conserve energy, you want to save costs. So therefore, the engineer or the installer must put in consideration energy saving factor when getting you an inverter. That is first. The second, which is also very important, is energy sizing, or what I call inverter sizing relatively to energy requirements. Most people make these mistakes. They will say, engineer, my friend or my neighbor make use of 2.5 kVA inverter. I want the same thing. Selenium solar, my colleague at work make use of 3.5 kVA inverter with 4 batteries. Can you do the same thing for me? These are the common mistakes they make, not knowing that the energy requirements for their friend or the load consumption for their friend might be different from their own load in reality. Okay, let's look at this example. Say for instance, client A and client B. Why client B has a load of 500 watts? Client A, 2 kVA inverter was installed for client A because of his load, which is relatively fine. Client A has a load of 1200 watts and the installer opted for a 2 kVA inverter, which is almost twice the load requirements, which is fine. Now compare it to client B that make use of a 500 watts load or that consume a 500 watt load, now opting for the same size of inverter, which will perfectly work fine. But unfortunately, in terms of energy wise, in terms of energy saving wise, client B will not be saving energy because he has already chosen an inverter that is bigger in capacity, far bigger in capacity relatively to his load requirements. That will cost more to charge battery compared to the client that has 1.2 kVA. Let me break it down properly. The client B with 500 watts of load would have opted for a 1 kVA inverter, which will work perfectly for his setup or her setup, compared to going for a 2 kVA or higher kVA inverter because his friend uses the same. Now the point is that when sizing inverter, you must size it relatively to your load. If my load is 500 watts or my load is 400 watts, 1 kVA inverter will save me costs. 1 kVA inverter would also save me energy when charging my batteries. Let me rephrase. If you are choosing an inverter, you must choose the inverter relatively with your load requirements. You shouldn't choose an inverter far greater than your load requirements. The standard is simple. If your load requirement is 500 watts, then your inverter should be 1000 watts. If your load requirement is 1000 watts, then the inverter size should be what? 2000 watts. That is, if your load is 1, then the inverter sizing should be what? 2 times your load requirement, so that you will not oversize. This way, you save costs. This way, you also save energy because a 1 kVA inverter will be more cheaper compared to a 2 kVA inverter. And I believe with this knowledge you have been exposed to, you can now make a good judgment when picking an inverter. So you are equipped with the knowledge to make a good decision on the size and capacity of inverter to go for. I know you like our YouTube channel to grow in audience. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click on the like buttons. We at Selenium Solar, we are the best solar inverter installer in Lagos with over 5 years of working experience servicing our customers with top-notch world-class installations. We hope that you recommend us to your friends, your family, and your colleagues. We look forward to hearing from you. I am Engineer Adiwale, the Technical Manager for Selenium Solar. Thank you so much.